Hello and welcome to Good Brews, Bad Views, the podcast that asks if great beer makes bad movies any better. I am your non-OCP host, one Max Nestorowicz, and joined by my union member co-hosts,
right.
One James Thorpe.
Hi.
And one Ryan Everart.
It's for the people.
For the people. And for the first time on the podcast, no longer limited by the confines of time and space, we have one Russ Johnson calling in from Philly.
Hey, guys.
Us. Hi.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
I'm reaching out through the internet to be here.
Are you throwing virtual batteries at us?
Yeah. So
I'm trying to think of some other snowballs too.
Yeah,
you guys are dressed up like
let's get
Santa,
all
right?
let's get all our Philly stereotypes out of the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You destroyed that
I've got plenty to throw
robot.
around. But I'm originally from the Detroit area, so I'm one of you guys.
Yeah. So Russ is a very good friend of mine back from my Michigan Tech WMTU radio station days, who's responsible for exposing me to The Room, MST3K, and a bunch of really, really good DC comics from the early 2000s.
Yeah, that's
Nice.
about right.
So we finally have Operation Ghost Sound as a go. Which, if you're not D&D players, Ghost Sound was a zero-level wizard spell where wizards could just make sounds happen that weren't actually there. So Russ is our sound that's not actually in Ryan's basement today.
Ventrilo wizards.
Ventriloquid?
Yes.
Ventriloquid.
Let's go with that.
Well, it's good to be here.
Yeah, thanks.
Or
So,
not here.
Russ, as a first-time guest of the podcast, we have a number of questions to ask you.
Mm-hmm.
One, what is the first movie you can ever recall seeing in theaters?
So it might be cheating because it's not theaters, but when you mention it, my first movie-going memory was actually going to a drive-in theater, which kind of tells you how old I am.
Nice.
And it was going to see Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
I also saw that in the drive-in.
But we were. I do remember distinctly too that a screen next to us was showing Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. So the whole time we were watching that, I was watching that without any sound. So it was quite an experience.
Fantastic. That's the one where Jason punches someone's head off, right? They're on like a rooftop
He
boxing.
lands into a dumpster, I think.
Yeah, the scene I always remember is there's one part in an alleyway where he takes off his mask and you see it from behind. It's kind of like that scene from Beetlejuice where he scares and there's things coming off the side of his head.
Right.
It traumatized me, I think.
All right. First bad movie you can remember seeing.
Was it Jason Takes Manhattan?
Well, I guess the question is the thing I always wonder is it bad movies when you think it's good at the time? Because I grew up loving bad movies, but thinking they were great, like Suburban Commando and things like that. But the first one, I guess probably the first one where you knew it was bad when you saw it and you hated it. Is that kind of what you're going for?
Yeah.
Okay, so that definitely was Blair Witch Project 2.
Book of Shadows. Fuck that movie.
I saw it in theaters opening night because I was so pumped because the first movie scared me, even though it shouldn't have scared you. But it was a packed theater, Star Southfield.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then at the end of it, my friend Jason stands up and just goes, "What was that shit?" And it's the only time because it's a fake internet story of everybody clapped.
Yeah.
Everybody clapped at my friend Jason screaming that at the end of the movie. Yeah, that was how everyone hated that movie.
Yeah.
Well, that maybe potentially that's a one for us, and we'll bring you back sometime because I would love to do Book of Shadows.
No, it's not that one.
That's exactly the response we want from our guests.
Yep.
No,
Hey,
please, no.
we did our first bad movies of Double Dragon, Escape from L.A., and Ryan, what was yours?
Turtles in
Time.
Yeah, Turtles in Time. So
all of those are ones. Well, no, Turtles in Time is probably not. I didn't think it's great. Or wait, is that 2 or 3?
That's 3.
Yeah, 3 I didn't see until later. But those other 2 I thought were great when they came out. I convinced myself they were good. So that's how naive I was, I guess, as a kid.
Right. I understand.
And last but certainly not least, first beer that showed you there was more to beer than American Adjunct Lager.
Bell's Oberon, definitely.
Bell's Oberon.
Whim 2 Party, I've only had, standard Pilsners at that point. And I'm like, what is this? And it was just... Man, that was the start of something.
Mind blown.
Yep. When's the last time you had any Oberon?
We get a plenty here in Philly.
Okay.
Bell's and Founders, when I got here, were in already very thoroughly. So the rarer stuff, this was the first year I was able to get KBS easily. But I still haven't been able to get Hop Slam easily. I've been able to get it at this good bars, like a single bottle. But Yeah, they're pretty common here.
Cool. Yeah, because like I feel like that Oberon's gotten a little weedier over the last couple years, but that's maybe just
it's
me.
changed a ton. It changed before you were like. It changed around 2006 when it was only seasonal. Like there was a 3-month window where it was available. And then when they opened that up a little bit, it changed a lot. So that was around 2006. So it's it's changed.
Yeah. Well, the beer is about 20-some years old, so with the brewery growing and such, et cetera, blah 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 blah. So, if this is your first time listening to the podcast, welcome. We'll be watching a terrible movie today.
It's real bad.
Drinking some fine beer alongside of it, and doing some general commentary and discussion about the film, and see what happens. Mm-hmm. We are continuing our terrible trilogy, which we have not done for a very long time. Come to think of it, Turtles in Time might be the last one we did.
Wow, that was ages ago.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We are watching RoboCop 3. So, a movie suggested by Russ.
It's up my wheelhouse.
Yes, it is.
Fantastic.
Definitely is. So, Ryan, why don't you tell the fine folks at home where they can watch this movie if they want to? Because this podcast is designed to be watched alongside the movie, but you don't have to, but you're going to get the most enjoyment out of it if you do.
That's correct. Preach it, brother. So we are watching on Amazon right now. We are 9 seconds into the Amazon stream, just after the MGM logo has faded. So if you're watching along at home, press play now.
Okay.
Oh, RoboCop.
No, it's Orion, Max. The thing.
Yeah.
So, weird visual memory thing. The Orion symbol, I always associated this company with RoboCop because the slats in the top of the letters reminded me of the visor on RoboCop's helmet. Just a weird thing.
Now
I mean, it's
I'm
very
never gonna
that,
be able to
very
see that.
What?
Cylon, Battlestar Galactica. I think Knight Rider.
Oh, okay.
Future lines.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Probably
Top-notch CGI.
Oh, this is so gross, you guys.
Yep. This is a couple years before the Lost in Space opening.
Yeah.
But it's up there.
Oh.
What's happening? Why is everyone so red?
Yep.
Delta Shitty.
This is like some retro futuristic
It's like
1950s Fallout shit.
Without
Local news jingle.
without the good tongue in cheek though.
Yes. Yeah, this movie loves the slash through the letters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
It's futuristic.
Yep.
I picked up on the visual subtext that everyone missed for the last 20 years.
I'm trying to figure out what that flag is, company logo is supposed to be.
But it's just some weird Japanese K. I don't know.
Yeah. It's Asian. We don't have to explain it.
Right.
Yep.
Also, it's a little rude that she's great at calculus, and I guess she's part Asian.
Yeah. And 8.
Yeah. Fucking Rip Torn, man.
Yeah. He saves this movie, or at least he's, for me, definitely the best thing.
Yeah.
Man, Punk makes a huge comeback in the near future.
Definitely. So we're watching this kind of newscast exposition dump at the beginning here.
Yeah.
Dude, check out the abs on those guys. You think they work out?
Now, the thing I was noticing, and I was rewatching I rewatched the start of RoboCop 2 to kind of get an idea if this was just something with the franchise. We're not going to see RoboCop for a while.
Yeah, it takes forever for him to show up.
For a movie called RoboCop 3, not much RoboCop.
Yeah. Well, that's always been the criticism of a lot of the franchise films from the 90s. You don't see Batman for 12, 13 minutes in Batman Returns or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, so I was rewatching 2 today, just kind of remind me what the difference between the 2 sequels were. Mm-hmm. And he's at least in the first 10 minutes and he's there fighting crime. That's what everything else is segue into his intro.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the closest we get there.
Yeah. RoboCop action figure.
I'd rather watch this entire movie as acted by a tiny RoboCop. I think that'd be way more interesting.
So, but that's just small soldiers.
Right. It's gritty small soldiers.
Yeah. I do like this pan through the room. It looks like an actual kids room or whatever.
Lived in.
Yeah.
Lived in. Good set.
Wallpaper's an interesting choice. I mean, it's you're right. It's lived.
Yeah.
Jesus, could you be creepier, Dad?
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Co-starring this guy's chin.
Yep.
You
Like
swipe a
someone
credit
mashed
card
Bruce
through there.
Campbell and Michael Keaton into one person.
He's he's the uncle that got kicked off of the set of Full House for looking like that.
You're safe here, wrecking ball.
It was like it was voice activated by that line.
The second unit director here was actually Miley Cyrus. It's a great movie. Say it some more.
Yeah.
So this is the first RoboCop that's rated PG-13 because they realized that like the biggest fans of this franchise were children. So
I mean,
RoboCop
I
3.
feel partially responsible for that because like I loved the cartoon in the late '80s.
Oh yeah,
I had
yeah.
Yeah, I had a bunch of RoboCop toys, which were awesome because they had like the little cap gun things in them that actually like shoot like gun sound noise when you fired it, like his gun.
Yep.
Russ, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
3. When I was little, I would walk around and make the RoboCop walking sound all the time because I wanted to be RoboCop. Yes. He's got the very distinct footfalls, you know?
Yeah, I would do the same as well.
Dude, I really wanted Grandma to just jack this guy and take his gun.
Yeah. Man, Dan Gilbert is really stepping it up.
Yeah.
Does everybody else think that
the
these
difference
guys look
between
like...
1 and 3. If that was 1, she would at least swing a purse at him.
Yeah. Everybody else think that the OCP or whatever they're called look like the guys from Spaceballs?
Yes.
You do a little
Yeah,
bit.
they do a little bit, yeah.
Well,
Minus
these
the
ones,
big
the others look
ball-shaped helmets.
just, this guy's like straight up Nazi.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but they do have pretty ball-shaped helmets.
Yeah.
Oh
They're
yeah,
just
you're
smaller.
right. But there we had CCH Pounder for a quick
Yeah.
second.
She's great. She's usually one of those people who's really ubiquitous in movies in smaller parts.
In my
Yeah,
opinion,
I
she
think of her
should have
TV
played
more, like
Amanda
ER and
Waller
The Shield.
in Suicide Squad.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
I remember her from the movie Orphan, the horror movie, which is a weird
Okay.
fucking movie. But
Yeah, I mean, honestly, all 3 of the people playing like the rebels in this, the resistance people, are actually like solid character actors.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
You got Tom Root, the one dude who was in Seinfeld and a bunch of other stuff. But yeah, it's a lot
Robert John
of
Bork.
good character actors.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you said, Stephen Root from fucking Office Space. Mm-hmm. Who's a great character.
Oh no, excuse
actor.
me. That was David Johnson, I think is his name. The guy from Seinfeld. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this opening scene has some kind of like ice relevant themes going on here.
Yeah.
Yep. Also, like Detroit's like resurgence.
Oh,
like
yeah.
it's not this bad.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
there's
come on,
definite
you
things.
goons.
There's definite things of like people being like, we can't afford to live in our neighborhoods anymore.
Well, and that they canceled all the demolition contracts because a contractor destroyed a bunch of homes that they weren't supposed to.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Yep.
Yeah.
So.
Forced gentrification.
Yep.
They actually bring that up at the end of the movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
Where's RoboCop? So OCP, oppressive clown posse. That's a Michigan reference.
Yeah. Well, I mean, will they hire the punks at the end?
Oh yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
I wanted the monster from A New Hope to show up in this scene.
Oh, the trash monster.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man. Micro RoboCop. That's a movie I'd watch.
And now Dr. Horrible chases her through the streets.
Yep.
Yeah, this guy could have been straight out of Spaceballs, so I got you.
This guy's really bad at his job. So she runs into this van in like 2 seconds. He's like, "Well, I guess she's gone completely."
Yep. They bring my RoboCop. He'll save me.
Well,
Our hero's kidnapping.
all right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that can't possibly come back to haunt us. It's fine.
No. I'm not paid to go down alleyways.
Yeah. They live in a van down by the rubble.
Yep.
Stephen
Milton.
Root.
Yeah.
I very much was surprised by Stephen Root's performance in Get Out. It was very good.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
See, even in futuristic, like corporate Detroit, there's a good public transit system.
Yeah.
Timed mines on loan from Q Branch.
Dude, that chick like runs the place already. The little girl.
Yep.
They're basically taking her orders at this point.
You don't You can make it for
Shortest
more than
timer
7
ever.
seconds, guys. It's like-
Yep.
Well, that's the catch-22 of being in the future. Your electronics are really, really good, but they can only do so much.
Yeah, there's 4 little diodes for
Yeah.
the timer. They can only go past, only use the first one. That's the rule.
If I hadn't seen the words RoboCop 3 at the beginning of this movie, I wouldn't know until now that it was a
Yeah.
RoboCop movie.
yeah.
This is about the first clue here, with
Ah,
Ed.
Good miniature work.
did the top of him always look like a microphone?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, that model is pretty much identical to the original, just not as well animated.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't have a chance, but I really wanted to check out the first 2 RoboCops before we recorded, because I haven't seen them in probably a decade and a half.
Yeah. So the 90s loved hacker girls because we have
Yeah.
Nico from RoboCop 3, Kate from Hackers, Lex from Jurassic Park.
Right, right. Oh, there's a puppy.
And then
Yeah,
just
my
the,
stapler. Give me
the
back my
movie
stapler.
hackers, too, right? Just the movie hackers, too.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
what
did you
that's
say-
what Kate's from.
Okay.
Angelina Jolie.
Hacker
So
Planet.
while we're going through this, robbery scene,
Silliness. Yeah.
Russ, why don't you tell the folks at home what we are drinking today?
Yes.
Because we have, through the power of synchronicity, gotten
Yeah.
the same beer across multiple states.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are drinking Victory's Golden Monkey. Victory is a brewery right outside of Philadelphia. Probably the first of the microbreweries I experienced once I moved here. Comparable to, I'd say, in size to a Founders and Bell. I'd say their tasting rooms, one of the places if you're doing a beer tour of this area you got to go to. I don't know, it's got good fruit notes, good spice.
Yeah.
What are you guys thinking?
It's a pretty solid Belgian triple.
I like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so ubiquitous in this area. That's just it. For a Belgian triple, it's so weird that is one of the most ubiquitous beers in this area.
Huh.
I think there is something about a Belgian connection to Philadelphia. There does seem to be more Belgian beers here in general. I mean, also, if you were to ever be touring the East Coast for things, there's a restaurant here called Monk's that specializes specifically in Belgian food and beer. That's a beer lover's destination. You can get Belgian beers and also American-style Belgian beers from all over. It's
Sounds
fantastic.
wonderful.
I mean, I think about what are the big popular beers around here, and I don't know if it still is, but maybe 3 or 4 years ago, you could find Dragon Meat's Final Absolution everywhere, and that
It's
was
still pretty everywhere.
It's pretty everywhere
Yeah.
still,
Yeah.
yeah.
that because that was a Belgian triple that was 10% ABV and had a lot of flavor, but yeah. So
Yeah, the beer scene here is kind of weird. Just, I mean, getting here and how little people drink Miller and Budweiser, because the standard lager people drink is Jinling.
Yep. Yeah, they
So
have death grip.
it's the
on that
only
state.
city in the country I feel like when I'm here is that where those two are just almost non-existent compared to other cities.
yeah, I've heard that if you're in Philly and you ask for a beer, they bring you a Yingling.
It's more if you ask for a lager,
Oh, a lager. Okay,
and you gotta say with that Philly lager,
the lager.
yeah.
And she had time to program sarcasm into this thing.
Yep.
Yes.
So Ed 209 is turning against his corporate oppressors.
So I've actually been to the Yingling Brewery.
Oh, really?
Yes.
America's oldest brewery.
Well, America's oldest brewery.
Yep.
And I don't really have any significant issues with Yingling beer. I mean, it's very basic in a lot of cases, but their black and tan is pretty good. Their summer wheat is it's a light Hefeweizen almost. So they do enough little variations on things to make me fine with how much they push just their basic stuff.
Yeah, I mean, their basic lager is it's definitely a step above any of the standard. It's not at the microbrew level, but it's a step above Miller and Bud, and it's the same price as those.
Yeah.
So,
Go ahead, sorry.
Quick pause. Jeff Garland here is manning this 24/7 donut shop,
Right.
which I feel like is a missed opportunity to be at Coney Island.
Yeah.
yeah,
But considering how there's a bunch of cops here, I think it's okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Fucking Mort from Arrested Development.
They their lager is along the lines of the way that I'd say along the lines of Solid Gold is for Founders
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
There's more to it,
Yeah. I just wish because like lagers never sit well with me. I get I think something about the yeast in lagers I tend to get me an upset stomach, so I don't drink them as much. I stick with ales.
Fermentation.
I wish I liked the lagers more because Yingling is so plentiful.
Yep. I love that they kept Anne Lewis's bubblegum blowing antics throughout all 3 movies. So, but still no RoboCop.
Nope. No RoboCop yet, you guys. Sorry to disappoint.
Like they could have called this. What's the name of the little kid? The Moppet.
Nico.
Nico, yeah.
Like Nico, a RoboCop story, and like it takes place in the RoboCop universe, but it's her movie.
Yeah.
Yep. And here we have some Ford Tauruses with the badge removed.
Yeah.
The dad car of the 90s.
Yeah.
Ford is finally going to stop producing.
I feel like they do something to him, like they on the paint job, like to make it like almost like a texture to make it look futuristic.
Yeah.
But it just looks like, generic car with black paint job that you've seen on the fucking highway.
Yeah. They didn't white them out and do some weird fender work like they do on Equilibrium.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's what you want with your cop cars. Them be like impossible to see.
Yeah.
It's really great for going through intersections.
Yeah.
So I found it weird that the cops are wearing helmets when they're driving. Like I don't know if cops actually do that when they're driving, or they did this for this movie because there's a couple like close-up scenes here where they can justify like having the stunt doubles, like doing some interior shots, or I guess I don't know.
Yeah, I think there's an element definitely for filming for stunt doubles for sure, but I think that's also throughout the franchise. It's trying to be like, this is how dangerous the future's gotten. Right. The cops have to always be wearing body armor, helmets. Yeah, like they're under fire all the time.
Kind of as safe as you can be at all moments, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oops, ejector seat. It's a cool button.
The ejector seat is the least practical yet most awesome car gadget.
Agreed. Go gadget comedy, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Well, I was watching an episode of the Batman animated series this morning while eating breakfast, and someone's in the bat plane trying to get Batman to crash, and he puts the ejector seat on, and you give him this smirky wave as they fly off, and it's just
This is a really cool, just kind of practical crash scene. I think it was fun.
Yeah. It's really different or it's really interesting to see how they did car chases back in the early 90s compared to how they do now with everything's practical. There's no or isn't a lot of CG or stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know.
I mean, they blew their CGI budget on that opening commercial.
Oh yeah.
There you go. Technically the first sight of him.
Yeah. Yeah, and we've been watching 15 minutes of movie here.
Yeah. It's just a shot of his visor. It's so long.
Yeah.
Dude, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
This is Bonitis guy from Futurama.
Yeah.
I was too busy being a busy 80 guy. I do find it funny because, both the original and the sequel, there's the SUX, and they attempt to make these futuristic cars, and they don't even bother with this. They just say I traded in my futuristic car.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
that would cost money.
Effects wise, RoboCop looks terrible in this movie, and I can't remember. Did he look that plasticky in the other two? He just looks like he's wearing Halloween decorations.
Well, he is. Well, it's the same. I think it's the same suit that Peter Wells was wearing, and they have a different actor playing RoboCop in this movie. Right. Robert John Bark, and he's a little shorter than
I was
Peter
reading
Wells
that
is. So
IMDb. It's just they slapped the old suit on him.
Yeah. Dude, that fucking tie.
He looks like Michael J. Fox in the future, in Back to the Future Part 2.
He does a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Or stunt
just
double.
has one tie, though.
Yeah.
Or that was the thing in Back to the Future 2. You wear two ties.
Yeah, the double tie.
Oh, whoops.
My biggest regret. No, I had bonitis.
Now, these guys are probably the most... So, Frank Miller, comic book writer, wrote the screenplay for this, or at least the first pass-through. These guys are definitely the most Frank Miller part of this movie.
Well, from what I've read, they're probably one of the only things still that from Frank Miller's original script on this.
Yeah, well, and also Bertha is very much him too.
So a lot of his stuff was removed from this movie after they made it a PG-13 kind of thing.
That makes sense.
And then,
the barcode plate.
Yeah. But it was the mid 2000s that his original screenplay was published as a comic called Frank Miller's RoboCop. It was
I've
published
never read
at
that.
Avatar, which, if you're not familiar with that imprint, is known for just being like excruciatingly violent and explicit, and all of like the negative connotations you can have about like comics are there. But they allow the writers just to do like whatever the hell they want. So
I've got my Dr. Sleepless
was,
tattoo. That's from Avatar.
yeah. I think that's where Cross originally was
Yes.
printed.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh God, that.
So we're on the tail end of. Oh, sorry, Max. Go ahead.
But and there's some carryovers from this movie to that series. Like you can see the shades of it, but completely different story.
Yeah, I got to read that. I mean, like, so Frank Miller's gone crazy. I mean, that's just the fact. Like, he's gone crazy. September 11th drove him crazy. It's more, was he always crazy, or did like it just become more evident that he was crazy?
Well, I think he first went crazy when he got mugged.
Yeah, these guys are like straight out of Dark Knight Returns.
Yep.
Yeah, so we're at the tail end of a very long shootout with some cops in the local gang called the Splatterpunks, who have all the requisite, weird hair colors and styles and studded necklaces and all that fun crap.
Yep.
And nunchucks. That's how you know they're serious.
Mm-hmm. And kukris.
They're reloading so slow.
Yep. Reload.
How does reload?
Shut up. And
Shoot off screen.
Fuck. Just gonna give myself a hand here.
Yep. Ryan, you're fired. Dives and then just
This is so pointless.
It is.
Just
falls
straight down.
So if this had been made, this scene had been, well, this is silly. Watch how much he struggles coming out.
You have a door.
It's just extra cheesy with a lot of these fucking jokes. It's real bad.
We can tell it's more like Rule of Cool for kids.
Yeah.
I feel like had that scene where he drives off the parking garage been in the new RoboCop, he would have like leapt out of the car midair and like shot them all before he hit the ground.
I've refused to watch that movie out of principle.
It's bad.
It's really bad.
It's not great, yeah. Michael Keaton's the only salvageable thing in it, as he is in almost everything.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I mean, the guy who plays RoboCop, he's okay.
Yeah, Rick Flag from Suicide Squad, right?
Ugh.
Same
Yeah,
guy.
I mean, for me, he's the guy from Altered Carbon.
Oh yeah,
right.
yeah. Good show.
Yeah.
But recently in the
Catches the
news,
ball.
in
He's
here,
so
the
slow when he
past,
catches
as
the
opposed to
ball.
when you were hearing it, Neil Blomkamp has been, I guess, added or signed on for the next sequel,
Right.
which is not a sequel to the reboot, and so it's going to be, I guess, a sequel to the original movie, and will ignore RoboCop 2 and 3.
I'm
So
alright.
kind of
with
like
that.
how Superman Returns ignored 3 and 4.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Sad Superman, Stalker Man.
Stalkerman.
Yeah.
Dude, these are some grody punks.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are definitely Frank Miller. What's the guys in the Dark Knight Returns? Rod and Todd or something
Yeah,
like that?
Rod and
Or,
Todd, yeah.
No, that's Flanders kids.
Rod and Bill.
Yeah, but the ones who have like their names on their
Yeah,
shirts.
my name is Rod, and
like-
my name is
Yeah, these are those guys. Absolutely. These are Frank Miller.
Hey, you guys. He's still following us, but now he's on fire.
Yeah. It's just like lighting a zombie on fire. It's not
Yeah,
gonna
right.
reach
made a
anywhere.
more dangerous zombie
Yeah.
I love this guy fiddling with his fucking gun right here.
with a
It's
the giant
so absurd that
scope on it.
a scene like before this, he catches a bullet out of the air,
Yeah.
and then he lets them light him on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He catches a bullet out of the air.
Yeah.
Right. Which is actually a very uncharacteristically quick movement for RoboCop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's kind of like the Jason Voorhees of like cyborg heroes. He's just very slow and unstoppable usually.
Yeah. I mean, his bullets do the speed for him.
Right.
Yeah. The
You get in
blonde
the
guy
driver's
looks
seat.
The
I'm
blo-
too drunk to drive.
the
I
blonde
am
punk guy
deputizing
looked
you
like
as a
Hopper.
designated driver.
yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Deputizing you to drive me home.
Wah, wah. Dun, 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 dun. This is a very good beer.
Yeah. This is.
This is real good. It's almost gone. There's so much
Luckily,
movie
we
left.
have. Luckily, we have more.
Yeah, it's one of those that just it's just dead on. It's absolutely what the style should be.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, here in Philly, it is plentiful.
RoboCop's all like, whoa.
Yeah.
Get her. Aw, boo.
What RoboCop moved right there was like a sarcastic movement a Muppet would make.
Yeah.
Like, ugh. So, this movie...
Annihilate? Question mark?
This movie has one of the, what I would refer to as like the cardinal sins of trilogies of, we're still exploring the themes of what is this character, even though we've done it multiple times already.
Mm-hmm.
Which...
Is that Korean Jesus? I don't know. Oh,
Yeah.
Sorry.
But we'll get more into that. But here we have Mako, which was, that was a nice transition.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with the RoboCop comic, I feel like all the Japanese stuff, that's very Frank Miller too. Was that in there as well?
I can't remember.
Okay.
It was years and years ago, back when I was just devouring any comic book I could get my hands on.
Because Frank Miller is very obsessed with Japan.
Oh yeah, with Ronin.
Yeah, and also, I mean, even a little bit in Sin City.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the later half, after he's
Yeah.
definitely gone into his misogynistic
Crazy.
mode.
I mean, that was always Frank Miller.
Well, it's much more blatant.
Yeah.
So here we've got the endlessly charismatic Rip Torn talking to Kanamitsu-san, who's apparently working on some big business deal with the OCP.
Yep, because he owns them now.
Fucking Bradley Whitford, guys.
Bradley Whitford, yeah.
Rules.
When I was my wife loves The West Wing. It's her favorite TV show of all time. And I was watching it, and she's like, "Holy shit, Bradley Whitford!"
Yeah.
Like, just
No, he's awesome.
so young.
Yeah.
No, I follow him on Twitter. He's just a good dude.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And sitting next to Bradley Whitford was Felton Perry, playing executive or vice president Don Johnson, who's been in all three of the RoboCop movies.
Yeah.
Always has some
One of
sort
the
of minor
only few.
role.
Okay. Here we have our city for ants.
He has such a good sarcastic face.
Yeah.
Yes.
Great city of Detroit. You know, Detroit gets a lot of jabs in movies, and like in the Scary Movie series, there are a couple of jabs at Detroit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The remake of Assault on Precinct 13 is set in Detroit.
Right.
Yeah. Well, the original was. I thought. No,
that was
wait,
LA.
no, that was L.A. Never mind.
Just watched it last weekend because gotta love that John Carpenter soundtrack.
Yeah.
But
So yeah, Rip Torn is one of those guys who's just blessed with the coolest fucking voice. You know, he just sounds cool.
I can't remember. There's a stand-up comedian who was. I don't know if you guys listen to the podcast Doug Loves Movies, and I can't remember the name of the comedian it was. Does the best Rip Torn impression I've ever
That's
heard.
impressive. I'll have to look
And
it up.
Yeah, it was. And on one episode that he was on, he just did like the whole episode basically was just him doing a Rip Torn impression. It was just amazing.
I was listening to Chapo Trap House a couple weeks ago, and they had someone on doing an impression of Jesse the Body Ventura, who does his own podcast, like out of Minnesota or whatever, and it was pretty good because at the beginning I couldn't tell if it was him or not, but then when it just got into like over the top wrestling references, I'm like, okay, yeah, it's not actually him.
So there was one who used to be who used to do fake call-ins to the Sklar Brothers podcast. The guy who was doing the impression on this, would he try to find ways to say WW a lot or whatever, WWE or various things like that? Because the one on the Sklar Brothers one, like he'd always try to like go to my website www. Saying it out overly, you know.
All right, so are we watching RoboCop 3 or Turtles in Time or Wolverine Origins? Or I guess it would be
the
the
Wolverine.
Wolverine.
The Wolverine, yeah.
I mean, I feel like in the early
Wolverine
'90s there was this obsession with like Japan was going to take over everything. Like there's this Johnny Mnemonic.
Johnny Mnemonic.
What's Rising Sun? Was that the one that's
With
the
Sean
Michael
Connery?
Crichton novel adapted with Sean Connery and Wesley Snipes?
Sean Connery and the guy who played Shang Tsung in the Mortal Kombat movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
You're
I feel like
welcome,
there was
Internet.
this really weird fear in the early '90s that Japan was going to take over everything.
Yep.
So that's a weird scene with, you know, this little, you know, shirtless guy sitting there with
That's
the sword.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the movie, they're like, oh, we have like 40 million of these guys all over the place. So
Yeah.
do they each have their own little resting quarters? Or I don't know, how does that work?
Probably.
Dude, the guy in drag, I want to live next to this guy. I feel like he probably has the best parties.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Non-union photo crew and a German Shepherd is that his party?
So a very chaotic Detroit police station here.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean it's in line with all the other movies.
Yep.
Wah. Science time.
Someone wipe his face. Come on.
Yeah, what the hell?
Just a cloth.
He looks like he just smoked one of those gag cigars.
Yeah.
Acme
Jokes
cigar.
on me.
Yeah.
Okay, so to your point, Ryan, when he's sitting there like that, that looks way better when he's walking around.
Yeah.
The metal.
The like on it.
It's probably
it
a
looks
different
better
practical
than
suit.
when he's
Like
walking.
Yeah,
you
it's
have one.
it's a different
that has to have
practical-
the joint movements,
Yeah.
and then one that
yeah.
has to like it sit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he looks really good here.
Yeah, he does.
Glory boy.
I still think the prosthetic face makeup looks good because they have to
Yeah,
build
it
up
looks
the
really
head.
good.
Oh yeah, it
for
looks
the-
really good.
Yeah.
I also very much appreciate that like head scientist person is a lady in this movie.
Yeah.
Well, it always kind of is. Like, and it's three different actresses, and each of the different ones, different characters, but it's always a woman in charge of taking care of his body. I was noticing that as I was watching RoboCop 2. I'm like, that's not the same character.
Yeah. Well, I mean, who directed the first one?
Paul Verhoeven.
Yeah,
Verhoeven.
Verhoeven was always he's always very equal gender roles in his movie, which is why there's
Yeah.
like the co-ed shower and you have the co-ed
Starship
female
Troopers.
scientists.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that was just in RoboCop 1.
Oh,
There's the
okay.
equal gender roles,
Okay.
and then
Yeah.
he carries that over into Starship Troopers. So
Starship Troopers.
Yeah, I mean, definitely like the first one is pure untapped Verhoeven.
yeah,
It just gets so watered down by this point.
yeah.
What are half of these screens even for?
was gonna
What is
say-
going on in this fucking lab?
This is a great just room of blinking stuff.
Yep.
As the show's
Ample lounge.
yeah.
Ample lounge.
As the show's resident electrical engineer, I need to know more.
Star Trek called. They're jealous of this.
Yeah.
The overhead lighting
A
situation.
lot of them is just cameras of what's going on in the set.
Yeah.
Right. I very much just want to have a beer with Bradley Whitford. I think that would be a great evening.
I like how this guy just has random electrical components in his pocket. He's like, hey, we can make him into a literal robot.
Yes. We just have these in gift bags at the door.
No, he's just a dime bag seller of
Yeah.
robot components.
Hey, you want some?
Yeah. What are you
Want
buying?
that? What do you got? The kind of character you expect to see in like in a William Gibson novel. Just like, I got some microfiche. Have you guys? Oh, Russ, I know you have. But have you guys ever looked up into any of like the film theory regarding the RoboCop movies about how it's like a
Negative.
huge like Jesus allegory and
Like a
whatever,
what allegory?
like a Jesus allegory?
Oh, I thought you said cheeses.
Oh,
That was a lot more
yeah.
interesting.
I mean, yeah, Rising from the Dead. Yeah,
Yeah, Rising
Yeah.
from the Dead, and a lot of the things. It's like they contradict themselves about like how human RoboCop is, because some
Yeah.
arguments it's like they just vivisected his face to put it on the robot for the robot to have a sense of self
yeah.
to maintain.
I mean,
like, the humanity of it.
they keep the brain in to keep it like a functional processor, but it hijacks that over that programming.
They preserve the duodenum.
And that's the thing about the reboot. It's felt like it was a direct jab. This is gonna be a long, weird rant, but like,
Go
so
ahead.
in the original, there's that scene where it's from his point of view, as they're building him essentially, and then the head wakes
wakes
OCP
up.
guy was like, they're like, oh yeah, we saved the arm, and then the head OCP guy's like, what? We want full cyborg, lose the arm, take it off,
Yeah.
nothing human remains, that's the point of it, and then they keep a human arm in the original. And it felt like it was like a direct jab to fans of the original RoboCop.
Well, there's that scene where they have him in, I think in like the original like armor thing, but they make fun of him. They're like, oh no, he needs to be in the black matte tactical armor or whatever.
Yeah, it's just exactly. They're like, it's not practical. Like, we'll make it stealthy black.
Yeah,
Yeah, it looks very just like
Mall Ninja.
stereotypically Japanime kind of stuff in the new RoboCop. Nice mustache. Oh, also nice mustache.
Yeah.
I like going into doctors' offices and seeing these what those TV screens are held up on because they're so robust, and you go in and they haven't removed those, but they've updated their TVs, so it's just like a flat screen sitting up on them, and it's like that's.
You could have 20 of those on that newsstand.
Yeah. It's just a reminder of how far we have come.
Mm-hmm.
I like this as just the totally socially bizarre interaction here.
Yeah, I feel like, they really never get used to him, being around, particularly because, he was worked on. What do they do to him now? Like, oh, I don't know.
Some bullshit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they do elements of that in the second one where the OCP PR team makes him more friendly and they all react weird to that too. So it's almost just rehashing in a weird way.
Yeah, after they literally cut him up with a saw.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that metal on that suit right there is clearly not.
It looks
what
so
it was
bad.
Before.
Yeah. And maybe I don't know. Maybe it is the same actual costume pieces, but it's a lot less believable when it's clean as opposed to being dirty. I don't know.
Maybe they just don't know how to light it well.
Yeah.
You never
That
know
could
that.
be
It
it.
could be just actual production.
Yeah, it's almost too shiny, right? I don't know. But yes, also the lighting in the scenes.
I do. Oh, yeah. Nice little call, being like, nope, I don't need my body armor.
Yeah.
Yes, you will.
Foreshadowing.
I do like RoboCop's data spike is a callback to R2-D2, but also being a deadly weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And don't call me Robo.
I'm fine. Also 100100101.
Yeah.
All right, dude, Spirit.
I do like up until that scene, you don't know if he had gotten the chip in him with this surgical hammer thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what that is.
That's a sex toy. You know it.
Yeah, probably. So, listeners at home, there is no Detroit neighborhood known as Cadillac Heights, but it sounds like one that you would find in Detroit.
See.
Yeah, I was watching 2 earlier to kind of also see how the difference. They're referencing at least normal places like River Rouge, and I'm like, oh, okay, at least a little bit better grounded.
Yeah.
When I first saw that scene, I thought he opened the door and all the birds died. That's a weird effect.
Just a
Birds
huge air
eliminated.
shockwave.
Yeah.
You are under arrest for defecating on public property. Are you the Predator now?
Oh, you can do that in the first movie.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But as far as thermograph vision, I think the Predator is the first thing that comes to mind.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
There was a RoboCop versus Terminator video game for Super Nintendo
Yeah.
back in the day.
It was weird. The first half of it is the Terminators going back to the past. I can't remember what their mission. I'm assuming John Connor related missions. But then he freezes himself, so preserves himself, and you're RoboCop in the future taking on Skynet in the second half of the game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, I remember playing I never bought it. I played the emulator 10 years ago, but
Watching the scene without the movie's audio was really weird.
Yeah.
Ryan, you're breaking immersion for people at home. Huh?
There's a scene later on in the movie where RoboCop fires 700 bullets from this gun, and I'm so confused by it.
You got the Time Crisis gun.
Yeah. Good thing, bad thing. Good thing, bad thing.
your neck's going to wear out if you keep doing that.
Civilians.
I feel like you'd still shred their ankles.
Yeah. There'd be a lot of recoil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not recoil, ricochet.
Yeah.
Now it's double. Oh, sorry. He's evil because he's
I'm
British,
evil.
like that commercial.
I
I
have an
was
assault rifle with
surprised.
a grenade launcher.
Yeah.
That they go for it. They
Yeah.
just kill her.
I mean, I appreciate that, but I was surprised.
I assume that was a contract negotiation thing where she's like, I'll do a day of shooting.
Yeah.
Our gasoline truck.
Yeah.
our only
I like
weakness.
that he just bonks off the wood door. I mean,
Sturdy church doors.
right. Yeah, he's probably gone.
It's fine.
God, it looks so cheap. What it does look like is a toy.
Yes.
Telling you, toy RoboCop.
Toy Bocop.
Microcop. Mike RoboCop.
La Granada.
Granat.
Oh no, they
Yes.
turned the fog machines on.
Quick, someone pick up the 900-pound guy and drag him.
Yeah.
I feel like some of those helmets are just like motocross helmets or something like that.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, for sure. That'll hold him.
Yep.
Nice dent in the chest plate, though, from the big round.
A little bit of continuity.
Yeah. I didn't mention it when it happened, but if you go back and watch the scene when Lewis is yelling at them, she has like a bullet hole in her arm before she is shot.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't notice that. That's great. Also, question, why weren't these people in the church hiding before RoboCop walked in? Like, there was an awful lot of shit going down outside.
Detroit. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Don't try to make this movie make sense, Ryan.
The common pitfall.
Yep.
Don't be. They'll just make you into a robot.
Lewis Cop.
Dude, Cyborg Lewis would be awesome.
Yep.
Do it.
No nonsense attitude.
But still choose bubblegum.
Robogum. Robo-bubbles.
How she gets her nutrients. That's something they would put in like a Deus Ex game.
Bubblegum is nutrients for Lewis Bot.
RoboCop sad.
Execute cry.exe.
Yeah. What is the statue that's behind the altar there? It's like this green blob
I didn't see
statue.
it.
If they show the scene shot again, it's.
I thought there was like a Mary thing, but I don't know.
I'm assuming that's what it's supposed to be, but it looks like something out of Dark Souls.
Oh. Coombs.
Like he's like, he was a cop before. Now he's like, yeah, no, but he's also damaged. That. What is that?
Oh, you're right. Yeah. Did not notice that one. I thought you were talking about something else.
No.
Another background statue.
It's just a triangle of green with a head.
Is that even a head? If I kind of squint, it just looks like a giant green
Oh,
poo.
Jesus. It's like an H.P. Lovecraft
Yeah, I was gonna say,
statue.
it's the Cthulhu idol.
5 meter spread. Just go against the walls.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm surprised there wasn't a riveting scene of RoboCop going into this church to talk about a pastor about the right thing to do based off of his abilities.
I'm surprised that Rick Astley, with all the gadgets there, didn't sing us a song.
Yeah. Good cut.
Yeah.
I'm
There's
a sucker for
really
those kind of cuts, though.
weird transition later on with some dominoes in this
Yeah.
movie. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of cool, but just weird. It feels out of place with the entering and exiting scenes.
Shredder? Or no. Splinter, open up.
Splinter.
Man-sized sewers.
Hero-sized ducks.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Cyborgs. Teenage Mutant Ninja Cyborgs.
Aw, rats.
Yeah.
Okay, so question on that line specifically. Is RoboCop being sarcastic, or is he trying not to scare the little girl?
Try not to scare the little girl.
Yeah.
Because he has thermal vision and she does not.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know that she doesn't have it specifically. It's the future, Max.
Wait, is she a cyborg? Is that how she knows calculus at age 9?
Right.
So and for Ryan, the chest piece looks way better than the rest of the armor.
Yeah, because it's like damaged and kind of busted up and a
It's
little.
yeah.
Yeah.
It has some
It's
depth
dirty.
to it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because I imagine they just like mass produced the suits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because they had RoboCop appear on WWF way back in the day.
That is true.
WCW.
Oh,
Didn't know
WCW.
that.
Excuse me. Yeah.
That's
Yes.
amazing.
Look it up.
He saved Sting from a steel cage.
Yep.
Truly a hero of the people.
Yep.
It probably would have been cross promoting this because that would have been around Early
Yeah.
90s, yeah.
They might have. Yeah.
Tracks. All right, so RoboCop's kind of like sort of
What to fix with this
malfunctioning.
Phillip head?
Yeah.
Imagine being, the actor in this. What am I? What do I need to be doing here? Just keep craning your neck until it hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at a thing and then look at a different thing and then look at another thing.
Wow, this kid has RoboCop schematics like memorized.
Yeah.
Oh no!
It was in his tracking port. Maybe. And you're out of there. That's cool. That's a good idea.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
That's
do.
far
I
enough.
do like this idea.
Mm-hmm.
Of like just
As I said, all the stuff with like the rebels here. That's the only like the salvageable part of this movie.
yeah.
I mean, the OCP was smart in just sending one dude to open
Yeah.
the manhole.
Yeah.
Yeah, good idea, boss. Stephen Root, keep it
Stephen
together,
Root is
man.
one with his trench coat.
Right.
Yeah.
Can I have a red shotgun?
And he lost a good amount of weight after Office Space too. Because where else does he show? He shows up in that other Mike Judge movie, fucking Idiocracy. He's in that too. He's
Yeah.
the judge.
I mean, news radio for me is peak.
Oh, I've always wanted
Stephen
to see
Root.
that.
Yeah, his character in that is the owner of the station, Jimmy Johns or whatever. Or what was
Is it awesome?
his character's amazing.
I feel like Stephen Root's also in Best Friends with Ryan Reynolds. I'm gonna look that up.
Okay.
Just keep twitching there.
Twitch.
I mean, obviously,
Twitch.
yeah, probably the thing he's earned the most money for over the years was King of the Hill as
Is Dale? Or no,
oh, no,
Bill.
Dale.
Dale Bill.
No, the one who stutter or no, not stutter. The bald one.
Bill.
Bill.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, Baldwin doesn't. You need to narrow it down from the bald one. Bald with hat or bald without hat.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, wife beater. Yeah.
McDaggett.
Alexa, show me OCP propaganda.
Yeah.
It's the future. They have 378 channels. That's such a crazy thing in '93.
Yeah. Ooh.
Hua. RoboGod Renegade. I'm pretty sure most people would understand that RoboCop is super dangerous.
Yeah.
It's interesting seeing what people thought technology would evolve into in older movies like this, because you see something like this, like the little screen that Bradley Whitford was on, and it's got all these hard keys on it, and it's just touch screens completely obviate the need for any of that stuff.
Any analog input.
Right.
So for a PG-13 movie, this movie has a lot of corporate suicide in it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's handled in a weird way because, like, so this guy's about to go. Yeah, sorry. Well, I don't want to go ahead too much, but like, I imagine if this was the first one, I've said that now probably 3 separate times now, like comparing it to the original. This guy's about to go here.
It's a
If this
good
was
comparison
the-
because that movie's timeless.
Yeah, if this was the original, this would have been played off much more for comedy, and like no one would care.
Yep.
It'd be funny how they don't care. I mean, it's still funny.
Yes.
I guess a little. But like, yeah, you wouldn't have
It's
this
still funny,
crowd
but
here
it
running
doesn't-
to check
it
it, and then
doesn't
like later people
gel
are
with the
referencing it.
movies.
Like,
Yeah.
Why does he have steampunk glasses on?
Because he's Japanese and it's the 90s. And Spurs for some reason.
Quick trivia update. Yes,
Yeah.
Stephen Root is in fact in Just Friends with Ryan Reynolds and Amy Smart.
okay,
No.
Fucking smart.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't expecting that line to pay off so soon
yeah,
in this movie.
Yep.
I just got another bottle of Golden Monkey. Look at this. Give me the thing.
Ooh, I'm in trouble. So spoilers. Otomo is a robot.
Robot.
Yeah.
It's weird how they don't like. I feel like it would pay off more if they revealed that earlier.
Well, you heard like mechanical eyes opening in the little room,
Yeah.
but that's about it. But spoilers, he's a robot, and we again going back to our episode on Terminator Genesis, we have the Eastern versus Western design of robots, of the T-1000 versus the T-800, and now of the RoboCop versus the whatever the designation is for the Katsushima.
Yeah,
robot
Ninja Bot.
Ninja Bot, yeah. He has ninja shoes on later.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a weird thing with it where, like, I don't want to lose this moment here, but it's a weird thing where I don't know if there's anything that gets added to that character by him being a robot, except for, like, he's able to survive a little bit more.
Yeah. Gives him a,
We're talking about, Samurai Robot here or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He has such a terrifying face in the special effects at the end of this movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's very unsettling.
Well, there's even one where he gets, like, his jaw knocked loose a little bit earlier than that, and, like, that's equally terrifying. I mean, it's about the same effect.
Right.
Oppressive capitalist pigs, yeah. I've always loved how RoboCop plays up the working versus ruling class in their conflicts. Like, especially in the first movie, you have Clarence Boddicker and all of his guys, or his little gang. They're all dressed as very, like, working class thugs.
Yeah.
Despite being, like, the main threats, and the second movie being the street drug, pretty much. But there's always some kind of ties between the working class and the oppressive rulers, with Boddicker working for Dick Jones, or I can't remember the villain from the second name. Him eventually becoming the second RoboCop. Kane, yeah.
I haven't seen the first two in a long time, but I feel like this movie is just way on the nose with a lot of that.
Yeah, the main bad guy's dressed up like a literal Nazi, you know, the suit and overcoat. Like, it's heavy-handed a little.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is that guy supposed to knock over that suitcase, or you think they just went with it?
I think he went with it.
Yeah, I mean, this is
Here we have
a
our
shot
90s
harder
big
reset.
set.
Somewhere Rufio is in this shot.
Yeah.
Rufio probably referenced every other episode on this show.
Better Baloo. Also,
Don't
how
you
much do you think
dare.
that laptop of hers weighs?
It's a weird keyboard on
23
it.
pounds.
It's like
At
an
least.
arch.
Yeah.
At some point, I'm sure Microsoft was trying to sell it as an ergonomic keyboard.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I do like this little pun about it's not a valve job on a Chevy.
These damned robot cops.
Obviously, Bertha is not listening to you.
CCH Pounder seems like she's another one of those actors who just doesn't age. Like, I feel like she looks exactly the same nowadays.
Yeah.
For sure.
Is that it? Is that it? Oh, no. Okay.
Even the name Dr. Lazarus
Yeah.
is very, like, on the
Yeah.
nose.
It is,
Yeah.
yep. Dr. Lazarus.
Dr. Spaceman.
The spaceman.
Save me, Dr. Spaceman, save me.
So, like, actually no one cares that there's a fucking child wandering around this facility?
No.
Nope.
I mean, where else would a child be safer than a police station?
Fair.
Yeah,
Fair.
Yeah.
Hey, kid, do you want
I'm
laser
90s
eyes?
Factor Girl.
Yeah.
Sign here. We'll get started right away.
God. 90s fashion is so bad.
Oh, gosh,
Real
yeah.
bad. 90s fashion, 90s hair. Oof.
Yep. She just got fired, and all she has are her mom jeans.
Right.
Yeah.
Oof. He's welcome, I guess.
Yeah.
Ninja
The hair does not
swap.
look real.
Yeah, it looks
It's
like,
like
it's snapped on.
prosthetic hair.
So soon we'll be blessed with some ninja flippery.
Mm-hmm.
when he encounters RoboCop. And if you look, every single scene where the ninja guy flips around, when he lands or is running, the ground is clearly a trampoline, and you can see the dirt.
I gotta keep an eye out for that.
Oh boy,
man, bayonets. That's
yeah,
so unnecessary.
I know.
This is a $40K movie.
Yeah.
Rebel.
Ha!
Nice. So we got, what is it? Otomo-san? Is that what they call him?
Yeah, Otomo. That's his name.
Yeah, so none of that needed him for him to be a robot.
Right.
Yep.
A human could have done that.
And then this fucking whack with the pipe. And then
This is the only thing that like, he needs to be a robot.
Yeah. Good makeup.
Jesus. The eyes. Fuck's sake. Dude, it's horrifying. That right there.
The smile, yeah. Be a good Joker.
Yep. I'm all for that.
Happy to see you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
KMA. Okay, bye.
I'm just gonna take your little map here.
So this is the dumbest. It's just a giant transparency with some red squiggles on it.
Mm-hmm.
This is not useful.
Well,
No.
the payoff for it's awful too because so he puts it over a map of Detroit, but like that assumes they're using the exact same map of Detroit.
Yeah, and there's the domino
at the same
cut
scale,
where each body is a different domino. It's just so stupid and weird.
That was way too much work.
Yeah,
It's Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
it does kind of look like him.
Yeah.
Mark, if you're listening, like us on Facebook.
Yeah. So a lot of people have been like, "Oh my gosh, Mark Hamill shaved his beard. What's that mean for Star Wars 9?" I'm like, "It's summer. Maybe he just wants to be cool."
Yeah.
Yeah.
His face was itchy.
Yeah.
Scatter.
Although I do love Mark Hamill as the trickster in
Fucking
Flash.
Arrow or Flash.
Yeah.
I want them to just, for the rest of the movie, not fix RoboCop and just keep him around to say things like a car is approaching. Yeah, he's just the voice, the security.
Yeah,
voice for
security
there.
system.
On your left.
Reload.
Back door
reload.
open.
He's just a far less charismatic Jarvis for the rest of this movie.
Yeah.
Your door is ajar. I
Shoot
saw
her!
this.
Yeah. Get him. This
Don't
is a
worry, RoboCop. Me and my mom ninja are here to save you.
This is a far less endearing and engaging like homeless community scene than we saw in Spawn. I feel like that's a lot more believable and I don't know, fleshed out. I don't know.
Well, they're recently homeless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
Those
just
people
learning
are
how to
like
be homeless.
long-term
Yeah,
homeless.
yeah. They're established.
It says as established as homeless people can be. Oh, I remember one time, Russ, you were hanging out down at Wim 2, and I walked in. You were watching Dark City, the documentary about the homeless people.
Oh yeah, the DJ Shadow score on it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I was watching that Wim too.
I think you were like watching on your laptop or something like that.
Okay.
And I remember you're like, "Oh yeah, I'm watching this thing," and I'm like, "That is not something I want to watch right now."
Yeah. Was it called Dark City? I mean, because that's a different thing.
No, that is a much. Yeah, it was Darkest.
It was something
City
like
or
that.
something like
it was.
that.
Oh crap! I can't remember. But scored by DJ Shadow
Yeah.
for like a documentary about homeless people. Yeah.
Okay, so this scene I think this is really funny. I very much like this idea of RoboCop just kind of phasing in and out of consciousness while they're fixing him, quotes, air quotes.
Yeah.
I mean, this is from like that concept is from the first movie. There's that brilliant scene of them like him going through his death and then being rebuilt, and you're only seeing it from his perspective.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
basically nothing from the first movie.
Yeah, the first movie has
bad
it to like it's brilliant. And then have you ever guys seen the Simon Pegg series Space, the BBC series?
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to be
They basically recreate that scene perfectly with making a battle bot.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah. Yep.
That's really funny.
But yeah, that first scene is like it's the perfection. Like that's the if there's one thing about I love RoboCop. It's one of my favorite films. That scene of him being built and it's only from his point of view, like what he's experiencing in and out, is just as good as it gets. Yeah.
We're being treated to footage from a better movie.
Yeah, right. So a quick window into the evolution of Orion. RoboCop is the first movie I saw that was rated R, and I saw it only parts of it when I was very young. So my parents had a movie night when I was probably 4 or 5 years old.
Ooh, jeez.
And they were watching RoboCop. And sorry, Max, what you're pointing?
So this scene of the women's faces morphing, this is the first movie to use digital morphing.
Oh, that's
okay.
Huh.
Basically to the point that all white women are the same.
Yeah, I mean,
Frank Miller
To
movie.
RoboCop. To
Frank Miller.
RoboCop.
But so my parents had a movie night and they were watching RoboCop, and I was supposed to be in bed, and I snuck out of my bedroom, snuck into the living room, and poked around to like watch the movie, and it was the part where Murphy is getting obliterated by the gang,
Jesus.
and it horrified me. Like I've been different ever since.
Fallout New
Yeah.
Vegas has a achievement called where it's you disarm someone with a shotgun, or cripple someone's right arm with a shotgun.
Yeah, that's about right. Okay. Yeah, I was born in '83, so my timeline with RoboCop is it's set up with my age. Like, so the first experience I honestly had with RoboCop was the animated series, which is a weird way to start with RoboCop.
Yeah.
And this, honestly, I think this movie was probably the first RoboCop movie I saw.
Right.
Oh, hey, look, someone getting obliterated.
Yeah, this is part of my memory. Like this scene I have a visceral response to that scene.
Yep.
And then it was only like later that this goes, oh, it's part of a better franchise.
Yeah.
So, did anyone play the RoboCop NES game? It was very hard.
Yeah. Actually, that was honestly probably my first experience with RoboCop was that NES game.
Right.
Ooh.
Yep.
Little child prodigy, bonding with RoboKip.
Yep. His face looks like a butt.
Yeah. I mean, they did a decent enough job with getting an actor that kind of looked like Peter Weller enough with the makeup.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have a problem with the effects in this scene. They look good.
Yeah.
This is a silly thing, but
Bruce
like
Keaton.
the searching of a database seen in movies and TV.
Like how he's like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Activate lie circuits.
Activate compassion.exe to build off of the .exe jokes. So when you're searching databases in systems, there's no reason the system has to show you everything that it has searched. It's just
Other than
for
just
dramatic
like
effect.
Other than just like a searching.
Yeah. A dot.
Yeah. But Ryan, films are a visual medium.
Prepare for robo tears. Oh my god, this is a delicious beer. I love me some Belgian beers. I'm into the dubs, the trips, and the quads, man.
Yeah.
Activate headpetting.exe.
It just
Crunch.
just rips out enormous locks of hair each time with each pass. Where'd you get all these weird bruises on your head?
Activate shush mode.
I wanted to be like, you heard voices. That's a weird thing to come around and say. I heard voices, not
What's going on?
Not what's going on. Like,
You
she's,
weren't making
like was she
noises.
announcing that
Must
she
be
has
you.
mental illness and just everyone just kind of goes past it? And he's like, shh,
I hear robots.
I've got my own problems. Lazarus.
I do like the scene in RoboCop 2 where they try to make the new RoboCop and you just see the robots killing themselves. Like one like rips off of its helmet, the other one like pulls out its gun and shoots itself.
Well, he shoots the doctors for the scientists first. Like he shoots this, and then randomly shoots himself. Yeah.
Yeah, and you see it cut to like a robot, like a scientist in a sling.
And they're all sitting there like putting their face, face palming. Like, boy.
Womp womp. This is the only scene from this movie I remembered until I watched it this week for the show. It's this scene right here where he cuts down the fucking sign with a sword. I remembered nothing else.
While you were pumping gas, I was studying the blade.
It's a weird premise. Like I've seen it in a few other things where like the future will bring us sharper swords.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I remember if you guys ever seen Batman Beyond.
Yeah.
There was like that sword is laser etched with an acid tip or something like that, and then like similar with like blade and stuff like that. Like that somehow like we'll put all this technology into things, and like what it will result in is a sword that can cut through anything.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So they're trying to, with a physical solid sword, convince you that it behaves like a lightsaber.
Yes,
essentially.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Nothing will stop it.
I actually very much like the delivery of that line. Just a very unpretentious, matter of fact. Oh yeah, I designed this. You're like, well, shit. Yes, it fits on this exact.
I like how Cadillac
map.
Heights is like printed on the map, where that's obviously like
the only thing added in.
Yeah, north of where Easter Market is.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I've been away from Detroit way too long, so I forgot my layout of things. But yeah.
Cheese and
rice.
rice.
It's clear over Gratiot, which I think is where the final scene is supposed to be. Like Gratiot and like.
I mean, in theory,
Mile.
like they're imagining a future where new neighborhoods could pop up. Like neighborhoods can pop up. Like,
Yeah.
we can call it new things eventually, but no. I mean, you wouldn't call it Cadillac Heights unless GM kept on, rolling or something.
The whole jetpack thing immediately made me roll my eyes because it's such just a straight up toy cell.
Oh, sure. But,
RoboCop with flight action.
10-year-old me wanted it more than anything in the world.
Yep. But going back to new neighborhoods popping up, like Detroit's going through this resurgence right now of redevelopment and whatnot, and the names they have for some of these like districts they're trying to build are the stupidest fucking things. Like, I don't know who the hell is like, oh yeah, we're going to call this place the District Detroit.
What?
Yeah, like that's where the Cast Corridor was around the new hockey arena and whatnot. There's a little redevelopment in Brush Park, I think, called like City Modern or something like that.
That just screams design, like groupthink design.
Yeah,
all that thing that is.
There's an exchange between RoboCop and the captain here that right now that I think is hilarious. Murphy.
So, if you're gonna have good names, come up with better fucking names for your city district, not just like blank city, blank.
Did you know there's a warrant out for your arrest? And RoboCop just goes, yes. And then the sergeant goes, okay, just checking.
I like how the guy who reminds me a little bit of Red Fox up at the desk, he's like, you got a RoboCop, you got an alien cop, you got a ghost cop.
What kind of cop you got? You got fried cops, jumbo cops,
coconut cop.
That's all the cops I know. So some guys have like the plastic, like Batman
Molded
suit armor.
yeah.
Some guys have like the Kevlar like that. It's weird.
They just ran out of money to make enough, so they just bought what was around.
Yep. It's like, what was that TV show on the CW that they just used Nerf guns and just like spray painted them like matte black or whatever?
I mean, it's a great idea.
Was it the 100?
Oh,
The fucking
It may have been
Nerf
the
guns
one.
are awesome.
I like the one.
I mean, it just reminds me of Firefly and how they took costumes from Starship Troopers and spray painted them part of them purple.
Purple, yeah. That's great.
Kablooey!
RoboCop, we just fixed you from getting blown up by gunfire.
That
Look at
the
him
explosion
awkwardly
happened
get
in the
through the
hall.
door here. He's like,
He lit it in the room. The explosion happened in the hall.
Yep.
what a dumb name.
Every time they say that, all I can think of is the one angry beaver.
Right, Daggett?
Yeah.
It's actually a show I haven't seen. I've heard it's good.
It's very good.
Voice work contributed by Richard Horvitz of Invader Zim.
Mm-hmm.
You do not look like a policeman. All of your cops belong to us.
You have no chance to survive.
So how long was he just talking to that guy's back?
Yeah.
Dramatic turnaround.
I paid extra for the video call. Turn around.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I assume in this like cyberpunk future, there's like you have to charge an extra 50 cents for it to be a video call.
Right.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. Simulcast translation.
Well, the first time I can remember seeing like a video call in film would be like Blade Runner, when Deckard calls.
What year was the original Blade Runner? Because I feel like
80...
the first time for me was
Two?
Back to the Future.
82, 83? Something like
I think
that?
82.
Future 2 was it for me, probably.
Yeah. When William Gibson went in and saw it, he's like, fuck!
Yeah.
It did Cyberpunk better than I did. Even though Blade Runner is more of like a transhumanist kind of thing. Ooh, I got some burnt up $100 bills for you.
The rebel
Props from
base
the
is on
first
Yavin
movie.
4.
Bum bum Milton.
I want my stapler.
Yeah.
It's a weird reveal because, like, you know who it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have him step into the light to, like, fully reveal him. Like, it's somehow dramatic.
He
That
wasn't.
sidecar. Jesus Christ.
Oh, I didn't even notice that before.
So
That's
pointless.
amazing. It's got a
Like-
fully actuated like canopy to it.
That's literally something from Spaceballs.
Yeah. I don't like to get rained on.
Oh my gosh. I like that shot with the shadow. I think that's cool.
Yeah.
That shot's very reminiscent of RoboCop 1 when he shoots that guy in the dick.
Yeah.
Dick shot.
Yeah.
I wish I had my beer cozy. I have a beer cozy that's. You remember that time where RoboCop shot that dude in the dick?
Yep.
Oh, that's so good.
I've seen that on a t-shirt.
Yeah, there's a great photo of somebody wore that to get a photo with Peter Weller,
Yep.
and he's cracking up.
That might be one of my earliest memories from this film series was like that scene.
This whole guy's like, oh, fuck. He's over there.
You got my cheese whiz, boy?
I can miss it with no
ridiculous.
RoboCop.
Will it open? Will it open this time? Robo strength.
I like how what's going on here is pretty much like Clarence Bodeker's plan from the first movie when he's like, I'm going to supply all the drugs.
Boy,
to
does
the-
this look
Yeah.
bad. With the
Yeah.
floaty gun. The movie from Edgar Wright. Don't. Like this, like, was this like 400 bullets?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
MP5. He has the
how is
extra
that-
long magazine.
How is that any better than just kicking the fucking door down?
I know. He literally could kick it once, not a bullet shot, and it would
Lift his
fly
leg
out.
that
Well,
high.
he can punch through it.
He just walked through the wall.
Yeah.
I mean, as I said, I was watching the second RoboCop. He punched through a steel door
Yeah.
and like went through it.
Thank you, comedian awning. He gets into the sidecar.
Yeah.
I always love the escape plan of jumping out windows without a plan.
Yeah.
Always turns out
You
surprisingly
have to
well.
have it like you have to be like kicking as you're falling though,
No.
like you're walking.
It worked for Catwoman.
It worked
Jesus.
for the guys in Hot Fuzz.
Right. How does he not immediately know that that's RoboCop from the voice?
Yeah.
Because all honkies sound the same.
I just
Probably.
Okay, Russ, give me. What do you think of this? I need to know what you think of RoboCop driving in a pimp-mobile.
I'm not Russ, but I'm going to answer that question. I think that's
This-
funnier if RoboCop absolutely does not acknowledge anything about the car. Like if he just gets in and
Exactly.
just drives away. I think that's funnier than him looking around.
yeah.
It would be if the worst case scenario would be like if they cut to a shot of him like bobbing his head to the music or something like that.
Oh,
They at
that's
least avoided
so
that.
bad.
Like if him just going passively with it, going like it's a vehicle.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Right.
Puts his hand through the windshield. So McDaggett like tying himself into the car reminds me of that image of the like the potty training chair where you see the kid like strapped into the chair.
So
I feel like, I mean, it would have came out. Terminator 2 would have came out when this film was after this film was in production, but somehow I feel like this is a ripoff of the
Right.
chase with a helicopter at Terminator 2.
Of course.
Yeah.
Which, as one of us pointed out recently,
I think it was you, Ryan.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was definitely me. But if you notice, the T-1000 in just a few scant frames has 4 arms while he's piloting the helicopter. I
thought it was
never
3.
noticed that. No, he's got 4. He's got 2 on
Okay.
the steering controls and then fucking guns. Crazy.
Yeah, okay. I always thought 3, but yeah, I can imagine a 4th one even just coming out too. Yeah, I know definitely one steering and one firing and reloading.
Nuts.
So, to go back to the strapping in thing, as someone who is familiar with combat generated vehicles, that is a completely realistic thing that exists in vehicles.
Oh, I
promise you.
believe that. I believe that.
There's all sorts of weird stuff and things that you would never expect. That looks like RoboCop is in wacky races.
It does. It does. I'm looking forward to that board game when it
Yeah.
comes out.
What, is that a thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shut up and take my money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wait,
Cool
wow,
Mini or Not
okay.
announced that they're making a Wacky
Oh.
Races board
Yeah, I want
game.
to see how it actually works.
Yeah.
That's my pocket full of money I had for no reason in my combat dress.
Ah, yes. In late December, the children of Detroit playing roller hockey in the street.
All of you Detroit people supposedly are immune to the cold, so...
The grass is green and there is no snow.
Yeah, that's why they're playing street hockey. I'm not.
Yeah.
Maybe global warming has happened.
If it was winter, they would be on the ice.
Yeah.
But like they're from Detroit, so they have to play hockey. So it's summer, so they have to go in the streets.
There you go.
But it's Christmas time though. There's Christmas trees in like every other scene.
Maybe it's Christmas in July, Max.
Yeah, okay.
Shut up, James. This golden monkey is quite delicious. Oh, great.
Yeah, what you guys
making your own
assuming
light
sour
show.
monkeys probably wouldn't be. That's probably a little too limited to get up there. It is a really good like. It's not the first sour I had, but it was early on the trend of sour.
Okay.
I think we can actually get sour monkey here. I went to my usual beer spot when I'm looking for something kind of like out of state, which is Merchants down in Dearborn. Ryan's favorite beer spot, Beer Baron, supposedly has sour monkey.
Oh.
Wait, there's a place called Beer Baron.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes.
I'll get you, Beer Baron.
No,
you won't. Yes, I will.
No, you won't.
Victory. I hope they're so solid, and they have another one, Prima Pills. That I can't do lagers that well, but it's probably one of the best pilsners I've ever had.
Yeah.
But probably my favorite of this area though is Trogs. So they're out of Hershey, which going there is an event anyways because you're going to Hershey. That is such a weird town.
Yeah, I bet.
The street lights are Hershey Kisses.
Oh gosh.
But their tasting room is incredible. They've got a great tour. It's a fun experience. But they've got a few beers there top notch. They're great like seasonal rare one. If you guys can ever get it, you have to try it. Nugget Nectar. It's an Imperial Amber. It is amazing. That's probably my favorite beer.
Nice.
Oh,
Nice. Yeah. Ryan, talk to your friends at the Beer
That's
Baron about
basically an
this.
imperial version of their
Sure.
Hopback Amber. That's a really good one. But the first beer that I fell in love with them there is Troganator, which is Doppelbock.
Okay.
That's
Another one in my wheelhouse.
yeah, and like I can't do lagers, but that's Doppelbocks. I find are the only lagers I can do well. It's definitely the best Doppelbock. I mean, Bell's Doppelbock is about a close second, but yeah, Troganator is amazing.
Great. That's all good information.
We are doing the 90s assault on the big set in our not Gestapo uniforms.
Yeah, the Pennsylvania beer scene in general, but Philly specifically, it's definitely. I mean, it's continuing to grow like everywhere else, but like, I feel like it was probably the first of like the non like big hubs that like really expanded. Yeah, Yards would definitely be another one I would advise you guys to check out. I don't think many others have gotten too far, but they're probably the one they've expanded the most with is the Ales of the Revolution.
I've had a couple of those.
Yeah,
They have,
those
like,
are the
George
original
Washington, Thomas
recipes of
Jefferson,
the
and Ben
founding
Franklin.
fathers.
Yeah,
So
I've had a couple of those.
Benjamin, there's Thomas Jefferson, George Washington. Those ones are pretty good. Then they have poor Tom Root. Then they have a Ben Franklin Spruce Ale, which is not great, but it definitely is ambitious because it's very piney.
Yeah. Ryan and I had a good, well, I wouldn't say it was good, an inspiring spruce, like Crystal Weizen. We went to Sun King a couple years ago at Gen Con, which we are in the past, so Gen Con's only a couple weeks away, and we are excited.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, sometimes you have to appreciate a beer, even if it doesn't turn out well. Of course,
Yeah.
it's still
like you went
ambitious
for it.
and
Good-
trying
yeah, good for
something.
you.
And that Franklin one is that definition of that, like ambitious but rubbish.
Yeah.
Right, and that's kind of for me. You can really get me on a beer if it's just very tasty, But also, even if I don't like it, if it's very, very like unique and confident in what it's trying to do, I will remember that beer, whether or not I like it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, whenever I am going to some city and going to visit breweries, I'm like, what is the off the wall thing you have?
Yeah.
Like, what are, what's your crazy sour with this crazy fruit, or what did you add to this porter or stout?
Yeah.
What's different? And sure, I'll grab their IPA just to see how they do their IPA or something like that.
It's always a good standby, yeah.
Yeah. But especially when I'm hitting up a lot of breweries, I'm like, what's the unique thing that I will remember from your brewery?
Colin Powell is very unhappy with what's happening here.
Yeah, I would think of him as. Oh no, that's actually probably good. Yeah, never mind. Such a bureaucrat.
Yeah.
Well, fuck it. Let's leave this creep here on the bench.
It's funny. They're threatening the retirement benefits, so it's like, you can't pull that move on my generation.
Yeah.
We don't have those.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Money Chum. What's Money
The
Chum?
face on the guy in the bottom right corner there.
Yeah. Is it weird that I actually really like this animation style?
It's not bad.
Yeah. I mean, this is definitely
That's amazing.
The few moments where they're getting back to like the original RoboCop, the fun ads.
Yeah. Like, this would have been a great opening to the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this would have been better, honestly.
It's so good.
It's very early 90s Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Johnny Rehab. Oh my god. So this scene is too real with the news anchor, the female news anchor being like, nah, it's coming up in a moment here.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to step
one,
on her head the first time I saw that.
The marijuana person who was the marijuana activist in Alaska. I can't remember her name. The one who basically just mid broadcast said screw it, I'm not going to read this. I don't know if you guys remember that.
No,
That was 2 years ago, maybe. She was a head of the normal chapter in Alaska, and she was basically asked to read one about a story about marijuana, and she mid broadcast basically quit.
Oh wow.
Jeez.
Well, it's kind of like the Sinclair broadcasts, local stations all had to read the same prepared thing, and
Yeah.
and then someone made the video of them all at the same time,
verbatim, the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, one of my close friends from high school, when I saw him last, anytime somebody did any joke that was half sexist, half racist, whatever, but even sarcastically, we would do welcome to Trump's America, but half sarcastic. If we were watching this movie together,
right,
anything like that, so we'd be like, oh well, welcome to Trump's America.
Yeah, Jesus, yeah.
Not trying to get political, but it's obviously there's connections.
Yeah.
Connections.
If you follow me or Ryan on Twitter,
We're sorry.
no, we're not.
Yeah.
No, you're right. I'm absolutely fucking not.
No. we do get a little political, as well as James's other one of his 3 Twitter accounts.
I do have 3 Twitter accounts.
That we know about.
That is true.
Yep. There could be a possible 4th, because he is not horny on any of those other 3.
Oh.
That's a weird statement.
Yep.
Musings about James.
Yep.
Late night edition.
Ryan, it's 2 in the afternoon.
Someone could be listening late.
The guy trying to put the
Put his
helmet
helmet
on with the
with the fucking
mohawk.
mohawk.
This is
I like,
That's a great shot. That is
the chick with the
fantastic.
14 million guns here.
And
is
the
great.
knife to the armor.
yeah.
Stab,
I
stab, stab.
don't know. I don't remember those shots from when I was watching it the last time.
Yeah.
I want more of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are. Oh my god, yeah. If this movie was more of that,
So that's actually a really good replica of the actual Detroit historic signs. The one that goes past the Cadillac Heights thing.
Yeah. And the
Yeah, Bertha's big plan.
I was
The,
just gonna say that.
the skyline in the background isn't quite the Renaissance Center, but it's close. It looks like they made the Renaissance Center taller. And this little street thing here, it's not that far from being actual Grafton Avenue, except that it's hilly. There's no
what year
hills
do
in
you
that
imagine
town.
this taking place in?
Yeah.
That's just it. Do you imagine there's some so this this was released in '93. The original RoboCop was
84.
84,
80,
I think.
Yeah, something like that.
Early 80s. Like how different from our Detroit do you imagine it is? Like where does this split occur? And how far into the future? Like, you have to imagine some buildings come up.
Sure.
Yeah. But a lot of those buildings on the street you see right there are still kind of around.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Detroit's this weird city going through a change for sure. And, there's this book wrote recently called, like, The Two Detroits, about how, like, the downtown areas are going through, like, this definite resurgence, but there's still a lot of
Yeah, I mean, it's a giant city compared to many cities.
Yeah, that's part of the problem.
You don't realize how large Detroit is as a city unless you have to drive from something on one end to the other.
Yeah.
Like, last couple weekends ago, I was in Corktown, and then I was driving to Belle Isle, which is on, like, the opposite end of the city, and that is quite a long drive.
All right,
can I take a minute to express something? Because obviously, whenever you guys release this,
watch the ground.
I just found out the Boblo boat.
It burned down, didn't it?
Burned down.
Yeah, it caught fire.
Dude, that is traumatizing to me.
Same.
That boat is my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I just had to.
No. It's completely understandable, those kind of things. Yeah. And there you go. Trampoline. Good job, Ryan.
Hiya.
But supposedly they're gonna have like a GoFundMe to revitalize it.
Yeah, my sister, is still in the Detroit. She's the only person from our family still left in the Detroit area, and she works for the Free Press, and like, she's like as Detroit as possible, and like that traumatized her. Like she's a little bit older than me, so she has a little bit more memories of the Boblo boat. Mm-hmm. Like she was traumatized. Yeah. That's the only thing he does that's effective.
Just fucking cuts his fingers off.
Cut myself off there.
Yeah.
And it's. I mean, he cuts him off at the exact location where he can attach a new device later.
I know.
Come on now.
Here, let me get you ready for a gun that can kill me.
Let me save you a step.
Yep.
Also, when RoboCop was just sitting on the ground recovering, why didn't you chop him into 40,000 pieces?
I know.
He's got some plot armor.
Yeah, plot armor. That's true. RoboCop, come out and play.
Clink, clink, clink.
Oh God, it's the what's the Juggalo Fest called? Gathering of the Juggalos.
Yeah.
Gathering of the Splatterpunks.
Yeah.
Splatterpunks is kind of a cool name for a gang. I'll give them that.
It's like a horror slasher video game series from back in the day.
Splatterpunk
and
Splatterhouse.
The logo they designed for it, like, it's pretty cool.
I think it's Splatterpunk.
Huh, interesting.
Maybe
Splatterpunks.
Yeah.
Curious.
No. The video game I'm talking about.
Splatterhouse?
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah.
The one that's like has the Jason ripoff.
Yeah. On the Neo Geo and the Sega Genesis.
Yeah.
Cars made of gasoline.
Oh, look at it.
Convenient lighting.
Yeah. Springy floors. Whack.
Yeah, it would surprise me.
His most effective attack is hitting him with
the hilt.
The back of his sword. Yeah, the hilt. Yeah.
This looks like a wrestling.
And he'll do it later. Like, why hit with the hilt?
Yeah. What purpose does this serve? Why are you doing this? Stop swinging that around and kill him.
I need to make you feel bad before I kill you.
Yeah, right.
Conveniently placed.
Even the score feels like
Yeah.
Well, this movie has a return of Basil Polidoris, who did the original score from the first movie, also known for Conan the Barbarian.
Yeah,
a lot of
like
big horns.
He did the Starship Troopers. One of you guys.
Yep.
I mean, he's worked very well with him before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this
good composer.
I'll be honest.
I mean, the Conan the Barbarian score is fantastic. The Starship Troopers score is fantastic. This is more just him going like, it's a paycheck.
Yeah. It's very basic music. There's not a lot going on.
I don't have to write anything new. I just have to, maybe time it to the action.
Yeah.
War wacky. Come on now.
Ooh.
I'm uncomfortable.
Colin Powell is like, oh no.
Yeah.
It's like, you made me mad enough to mess up my anchor hair.
What kind of grate is that? What building has that grate?
Not a great one.
An Art Deco designed building.
Guess. I hacked the air conditioning system, and now I'm here.
Yeah.
Gave everyone a swamp ass.
The fall of many an army.
You joke.
No, yeah. Homemade beef stew. Hey, it's Mort again. What up, Mort?
It's a pretty spot-on Detroit diner, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, get some good sliders there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I want some conies.
Fucking greens down the road from my house, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
greens. Greens.
The kid's just like,
I feel like that's supposed to be a Rockwell.
Yeah.
Like
I
a
love the
playoff
old
of
grandma
Rockwell.
with the submachine gun.
Yeah.
That is one of like my distinct memories from this movie. But yeah, the Norman Rockwell family around the table.
Yeah, you're spot on there, Russ.
Robo watches TV from the floor.
Just be.
It's the most comfortable spot. I
Yeah.
mean, we've all been there.
Just the enormous scowl on his face during this scene.
Even when RoboCop shows up in this movie, he's rarely, if ever, RoboCop. He's just kind of around.
He's worthless.
Yeah.
Like when you get to the final confrontation in a few minutes, he doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nico.
Well,
the
no,
RoboCop
I should
story.
say that he's about to help one part.
Yeah. Buh. She gone.
Did any of you guys ever watch the live action RoboCop TV series?
Was there a TV series?
Yeah.
I remember there being a bunch of movies. Maybe it was the TV series
There were
like
both.
that, like re-edited to movies.
So on Amazon, when I bought this fucking movie,
Yeah.
so there are 4 made for
Sorry.
TV RoboCop movies and a RoboCop TV series.
Okay.
So I remember like one of the villains like looks a little bit like Freddy Krueger in the sense that his face is all melted or whatever.
Yikes! That seems
It's
like
so
way too much
pointless.
room for that tank.
Yeah.
I don't know. Furniture. These are some really wimpy explosions for a tank.
It's some kind of wheeled vehicle with a turret on it.
You just hear the mnemonic or the piston.
Yeah.
What do you call them?
Pneumatic.
Pneumatic.
The-
yeah.
Yeah, pneumatic. Yeah, like
The
things
launch
that throw
pads or
people off.
whatever.
This is a weird take that like RoboCop is just super loud with the jetpack.
No,
I don't
he's
know.
flying so fast it causes
I'm
sonic
gonna-
booms.
I'm gonna save
guess.
your neighborhood by destroying all the windows.
Yeah.
Put in new windows,
the-
Matty Maroon.
I'm
And
gonna-
like his control software, like whatever, like he's so slow, he's so lumbersome,
Yeah.
but somehow he can fly a jetpack.
right.
Like with the way how slow he reacts for most of this movie, he would just crash into the first
Yeah.
wall.
Yeah. just,
Flies through the tank.
just cut to a shot of RoboCop completely horizontal, but his head is stuck in a brick wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Roy at the end of Blade Runner when he puts his head through the wall.
So some of these quick cuts don't look too bad, and some of them look
Yeah.
really bad.
This whole sequence reminded me of Jingle
Fucking
All the
Turbo
Way.
Man,
Yeah.
Jingle All the Way.
It's turbo time.
Where in all reality, outside of the first portion of this movie, the effects mostly hold up for me because they're practical for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah. Practical tends to last longer. I mean, if they did CGI at this time, it would look abysmal.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Even that little like light tunnel when RoboCop's being like rebooted doesn't look
Yeah.
that bad.
And then this comes around just like the whole Jingle All the Way thing, where that shows up and you're just like, oh my god,
Yeah.
why?
Let her.
This is part of the anti-active
Ow.
shooter training I go through, which is hide, and then if they come in, hit them with whatever you can find.
I remember watching
Yeah.
those videos the 2 summers that I worked for the Army. Oh no, the stock!
I get it.
Baha!
That's so awkward and
Just
bad.
flies through
Yeah.
some.
Right in the-
Half this movie is RoboCop flying through glass panes.
Right. He's just not on fire this time.
Accessories sold separately.
Buh. That's a pretty good line. You're allowed 1 usage of chum per movie.
I mean, I guess that's a Jaws. You probably could use Chum a little more time.
Hey.
What?
So here I'm like, wait, did he fix
Didn't
himself?
I kill you?
This is the most
Don't smile. It's
horrifying
creepy.
practical effect in this fucking movie.
That's why. Yeah.
It's terrifying.
Yeah.
Wah? Ninja duplicate.
That
He used double team.
Yeah. You're gonna solve the ninjas.
Good.
Don Johnson
I'm saying
knows
sorry,
when to
Naira is
exit a room.
vaguely racist, but I don't
Yeah.
quite figure out.
I'm mad RoboCop's thinking like, I have to come back to this boardroom fucking again.
yeah.
How many executives do I have to kill?
Yeah.
I like poised RoboCop stance. It's just a wide base.
Wide base with like bent knees.
That's RoboCop wearing a diaper stand.
Yeah.
Yeah, double hilt smack. Oh, or whatever.
Again. Guaranteed knockdown.
How
effect.
is that considered like an effective attack?
Right.
Like it's
Yeah, why aren't they just
Practical effects
slicing him to
look so
bits?
good.
Yeah.
Right there.
I like the just the difference in how their heads up
Yeah.
display is.
yeah, that's probably the coolest like special effect of this.
Mm-hmm.
And the point of that is just like, why even step in
Yeah.
if you're the bad guy?
Yeah.
Fuck that guy's face, man. Good.
Like, let the robots
Yeah.
do the work.
Yeah.
Nightmares.
Patty cake, patty
Cake.
cake. Bang.
It's a draw.
It's like
Yeah.
a Westworld move.
Don't you guys see that one blinking light? We're doomed.
Don't you know about self-destruct systems and androids from Japan?
Right.
Oh, you didn't read up on that?
Yeah.
They didn't read the owner's manual.
They don't have Wikipedia in the future.
Stupid slag. Is there a more like Britishy phrase?
This is the longest 12 seconds I think I've ever
The
seen.
only
in a movie.
RoboCop can get up from being pushed down.
So, like, all our hero does, RoboCop does, is accidentally or incidentally light a guy on fire.
Right.
And then
Burns
run
out-
away.
Burns out
That's
a
his
man's
big
shins.
heroic move. Incidentally light a guy on fire and run away.
And RoboCop is apparently able to maintain lift at 4 miles an hour when he grabs these people and flies out of the building.
Yeah. That's way more than 20 yards,
Yeah.
by the way.
20 hectometers.
Hey.
This fucking movie, man.
Michigan barcode plates.
I'm sorry, guys.
No, you're not.
No,
This is all your fault.
Your other option was Masters of the Universe.
Masters of the Universe,
I
well,
can't wait to
awful,
do that.
is incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. He looks like the Japanese version of the lady that gives out outfits in The Incredibles.
Edna?
Oh, Edna.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing that I didn't learn until recently. Brad Bird, the director, does the voice of Edna.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew. Yeah. It's supposedly it's based off of somebody in Hollywood. I can't
yeah.
remember what her job is, but like it was his interactions with her. Like
Right.
it's based off a real person.
That's great.
I was years and years and years ago. I was recently like seeing / friends with this one girl who had hair like Edna and kind of had like a kind of a almost deeper kind of voice. And the people at the comic book shop referred to her as No Capes.
Oh, nice.
That's incredible.
I was like, No
Could
Capes.
be.
And I'm like, oh, I see what you're doing there.
Bum,
Yeah.
bum, 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 bum. I think that's the musical loop that just went on perpetually in the NES game.
Oh yeah.
It's close to the score.
Yeah, I feel like...
And then he commits seppuku.
yeah.
Yeah.
RoboCop looks like he's wearing rubber gloves.
Probably is.
Once again, it goes back to this weird thing of like the early '90s, where like, well, Japan's gonna take us over, of course,
Yeah.
but we're probably better off. They're great people. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
it's this weird thing from like the early '90s, like of this like weird fear but respect for Japan.
Yeah.
Japan had the fastest growing economy in the early 90s. And
Yeah, and then they hit that
Didn't
weird
have
like
some sort of
recession in
economic
like the late
crisis
'90s.
shortly after.
Yeah, if it would have kept tracking, they would have overtaken the United States. But then
Yeah.
they effectively went into a depression that has lasted like literally until now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're hosting the next Olympics, and when I was there last year, I was talking to my friend, and she's like, "Yeah, this country is not ready for what that is going to bring as far as like the cultural variance or whatever, because they don't tolerate tattoos at all. Like there are hotels where if you have tattoos, you can't stay there because of the association with the Yakuza. Their respect for tradition or whatever is really makes them inefficient in some ways, despite that we associate the Japanese as being like super driven as far as work goes and whatever, and so oh well we'll see what happens.
So that was RoboCop.
That was RoboCop 3.
Mercifully, it is done.
Sorry, I guess.
No.
All right, so
Curse you, Russ! I'm shaking my fist at you, Russ.
Yeah.
You can't see it, but I am. I'm shaking.
No, I mean it's
seriously.
up. Like I said to Max, it's up my alley. I'm obsessed with 80s science fiction, and RoboCop 3 is like an extension of that.
Perfect. That's just perfect.
yeah. So before we get going, as always, view again, brew again. Would we watch this movie again? Would we drink this beer again? Start off with Ryan.
Heyo. Let's start with view again. I would never just ever watch this movie again. While I don't have the just hatred for this movie that I sometimes get, it's actually just really boring a lot of the times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and it's very just super childish and silly. I don't know. There are a few scenes that are like, okay, I would be like, hey, you won't believe this bullshit that happens in a RoboCop movie, and I would show a couple scenes. But I would never. No, I get no enjoyment out of this movie just at all. And again, I don't have a fresh reference as far as the original and then the second movie to kind of compare with and sound off of right now. But no, I just absolutely not, never. Brew again. This is really good. This is kind of one of my styles. The triples, the quads, and doubles and stuff like that. I very much like this. I'm a big fan of Final Absolution. And I'm not sure which I like better between the two. I know Max, I know Steph isn't real keen on Final Absolution as being, as true to the style as it can be, if I'm remembering correctly.
A little, yeah. Her critique is it's a little sweet, which I will, in the years of like drinking it 6 years ago and drinking it now, like it does taste a lot sweeter. So sorry to interrupt, but Ryan.
Sure.
So in the credits, they're going through like cast and order of appearance, and there's at least like 24 names before it gets
before RoboCop shows up.
Yeah,
right. But yeah,
always good sign.
Just a real quick, just beer aside. As far as a beer being accurate to the style and also being a beer that I enjoy, those are two different things. I don't know enough about beer to say how accurate this is to the style, but I like this very much, regardless. Like I don't care how accurate it is.
Yeah.
I like this beer a lot. This is really good. Good pick, Russ. Good pick.
Okay, cool.
James.
I will never watch this movie again.
Tell us how I really feel.
Yeah. So, moving on to the beer. I completely agree with Ryan. This beer just feels warm.
Yeah.
It might be the spices that are
Like,
added to
It's
this.
super pleasant. Just
It's
like everything
yeah.
about it.
Like it's like as ridiculous as it sounds. It's just like you're just drinking happiness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I completely get that. I get that entirely.
Battle.
Yeah, you're just drinking it and you're like, okay, yeah, this is
good.
This is good.
This
I'm
is
okay
a
now.
smile in a bottle.
Yeah, I'm okay now.
Yeah.
So if I can find this more, I will go for it. My father-in-law luckily lives in Wayne, Pennsylvania, actually. So
Okay.
So this is from
and my
Victory?
sister just moved to King of Prussia. So
Oh, that's right near where the brewery is.
so I will
Nice.
tell her to go get us some stuff, guys.
Cool. No,
Yeah.
this is real good.
And I will likely be going out to Pennsylvania in October to go to a Church's concert. So
Oh, nice.
yes,
Nice.
Good show. They put on a good show. I'll go next. This movie, no.
Zero hesitation.
I
Yeah.
will watch RoboCop 1. I'll watch it. I don't own a ton of movies on DVD or Blu-ray, but this is one that I do. It's got a very nice commentary track. Ryan, I will lend it to you.
Sure. You gotta get through Raising Arizona first, which I will.
Oh
do.
yeah, you finish watching Raising Arizona.
Yep.
But no, it's. I'm very interested to see what Blomkamp's going to bring to this series when he eventually directs the next installment.
I have
of
a
it.
question for you, Max.
Sure.
Given the choice, would you prefer Neil Blomkamp made the RoboCop 2 movie that he is now set to direct, or would you prefer that he would
Aliens.
make the Aliens
Nope.
3 movie that he
Aliens.
is set to direct?
Aliens.
Because James Cameron won't stop making... Not James Cameron.
Ridley Scott.
Ridley Scott won't
Ridley
stop
Scott.
making bad Prometheus
Shitty,
movies.
yeah. Christ.
I don't.
Because I'm on board with Ryan. I'm on the Aliens
Yeah.
train, man.
Fuck it.
I'm on Xenomorph Express.
Do it. Yep.
That's.
Allamorph.
Yep.
I don't know. Okay, so I did get to watch Covenant in so the day after we did our last beer tasting back in December, I was on my couch for 12 hours, and
Great
I watched
day.
Covenant, and Covenant was okay. It wasn't great, but it was better than Prometheus.
Yeah,
by a long shot.
Covenant's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
Alien.
It is, yeah.
It's just Alien.
Closer to form, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was billed as a return to form, and it very much feels like, okay, you're trying to correct the course. I haven't read enough to know about what he wanted to do with Alien 3.
He wanted to make it Earth War.
That doesn't mean anything to me
Yeah.
in my head.
Okay.
Like set on Earth?
The original, he was going to make the original Alien 3 movie, which was that it is a movie about Ripley and her daughter dealing with the implications of xenomorphs making it to Earth.
Oh, okay. Because isn't Ripley's daughter the protagonist of the Alien Isolation game?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And
That could be interesting.
I think it was actually Ripley's granddaughter, if I remember correctly. Because in Alien...
Some descendant of Ripley
Yes,
is the
correct.
protagonist. Okay. So yeah, that could be interesting just for a change of pace, I suppose. On the same grounds, I don't know, because like part of me is like you should just leave some of these older 80s franchises alone, but RoboCop is one of those franchises that had diminishing returns as far as the sequels go. I want him I'm going to disregard both your answers and say I just want him to keep making short films that he
Like
puts
the
up on
Oats?
YouTube.
For Oates?
For Oates,
They're
yeah.
So good.
Or actually make the Firebase movie. That
Yeah,
he's even
Firebase,
confident-
That got picked up, right?
Firebase
Yeah, picked
1 or
Yeah.
Zygote. Those are both
Yeah.
great.
well, he's making a feature or somewhat feature-length movie
Of Firebase.
Of Firebase.
Yep.
Yeah, I have heard that.
Okay.
I have heard that. So as long as he can keep doing things in those veins, because he had a couple like good films, District 9,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and Elysium was okay.
I don't
Yeah.
like Elysium. I like Chappie. better
Chappie
than
was a
Elysium.
little worse, but
Yeah, Chappie's one of those like either they very liked it or they don't like
I
it.
very much liked Chappie, and I
I did not. I understand though.
I was so uninterested in Elysium. Every minute, I was like, I just don't care.
Elysium felt like a checklist.
Yeah.
to me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
okay,
sure,
we did the
sure.
thing. We did the other thing.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I don't know, like, because that's one of the criticisms I've heard about him taking over RoboCop. It's like, do you really want the guy who did Chappie to do RoboCop? And it's like,
Sure. Yeah. Fuck it.
Actually, honestly, even though I don't like Chappie, I honestly agree. Yeah, I'm fine with him.
Yeah.
yeah. So I don't know. I think he could bring something interesting to the series.
I just
Yeah.
want to hear RoboCop with a South African accent.
Right.
It's Vicus from District 9.
And again,
Dead or alive, you're coming with me.
Indeed.
and again, regardless of I guess how people feel on the feature length movies from Blomkamp, the Oates movie or shorts are just great.
Yeah.
Like I like them all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zygote being, I think, my favorite, just because the creature design is
It's very good.
really good.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm
Raka's great.
I'm a Firebase guy.
Yeah,
Firebase
is my favorite.
Firebase is very good.
Firebase is my favorite, and then Raka, and then
I think out of all of them, Firebase has the most you could explore to be interesting. Because
yeah,
Raka, it's just like, oh, it's an alien invasion one.
Yeah.
Zygote, it's how did it be? It'd be like Alien, I think.
I feel
the infestation.
yeah. I feel like the Firebase idea is a lot more unique than the others, as far as what they're presenting as the conflict and like the alien side of things. I think that Firebase is the most unique.
Yeah.
Okay,
those.
yeah. I might disagree with you a little bit there because it kind of ties into the three of us me, Ryan, and James play Delta Green, which is the modern day kind of Call of Cthulhu setting, where at one point, like that's been going on since like the 1940s, of being like, oh, this group that takes care of like the Lovecraftian stuff. And one of the big moments in history is they get delegitimized by the government because they go into Vietnam or they go into Cambodia before they should have and encounter weird shit, pretty much. So it's like, what if Apocalypse Now, but with tentacle creatures?
But Firebase has nothing to do with the Cthulhu mythos.
No, but it's very much being like that.
Broken.
The universe is broken, and they encounter like weird ass stuff. Well, in Vietnam,
the universe is broken and it's correcting itself. That's all Firebase is. It's not like some kind of weird demons or or like things from beyond time and space. It's just that the universe is literally correcting itself. It's like the joke about the Large Hadron Collider, that things kept happening to it when they kept trying to turn it on because every time we turned it on, the
universe was trying to prevent it, sabotage it.
So it's just coming back in time and being like, no, a seagull dropped some rocks on the magnets and wouldn't let it turn on.
Right.
Yeah, okay. So I mean, that's very much in line of what you could do in Delta Green, but it's still like a super interesting thing. Like, I think that's the one you could get the most mileage out of if you were going to take any of those shorts and make them into a film.
Agree.
So
Zygote felt a lot like what I wanted out of Helix, which was a sci-fi TV show.
Not familiar with that one.
Any of the three of you watched that?
No,
I'm familiar with it, but I haven't watched it.
Okay, it does have a very interesting twist in it, and then it does the thing that I hate with TV shows, which is it creates an interesting twist, and then it's like, season 2 is a prequel season, and they don't explore the actual twist they did, and then they were like, oh, we canceled it because no one watched the second season. Well,
if you're gonna do that, you do a self-contained like episode 7, which is what I kind of dislike about a lot of the Marvel shows, where it's like, show, flashback episode, and it's like, just continue it on. Or I think it would have been more interesting if you would intercut the flashback episode into the previous 6 or so.
Like Punisher did.
Yeah.
Punisher was so good.
Punisher is a well-structured series.
Yes.
Yeah, I will say of the Marvel shows, that I think has the best pacing.
Yes.
As far as keeping you interested and invested, and not spending too much time on what the origin of the Punisher is, because you know what the origin of the Punisher is.
Right.
I want to see an end to all origin story movies from this point forward.
Yeah.
Sorry to disappoint.
Just have my hero being a hero.
No.
Intercut.
I'm okay with origin stories if they introduce people like when Ant-Man showed up. Ant-Man had never had a feature film before, so it's kind of like, okay, let's show how Ant-Man works. But like this whole Spider-Man thing, we don't need another Spider-Man movie. We don't need another Batman movie. We don't, and to DC's credit, they didn't do a Batman movie. So,
as we've been recording this episode, the Aquaman trailer should have dropped. So I'm hoping to watch the Aquaman trailer when we're done recording this.
Okay.
But going back to View Again, Brew Again. View Again, no. Brew Again, yeah. This is a very nice Belgian.
It's so good.
It's not too sweet. I don't find the Belgian yeast overpowering, which is not a critique of the style, just more of how my taste buds perceive the beers. It's got a lot of flavor. It's very drinkable for being like the 9% beer or whatever that it is.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that we can find it in a couple different spots around the metro area.
Yeah, I'm glad it's expanding.
Yep. And last but not least, Russ.
Obviously, Drink Again. Yeah, I mean, it's one I would recommend to anybody outside of the Philly area. My father-in-law, I introduced him to it, and he loved it. It's pretty much exactly what you guys are describing, where like he kind of was starting to get into Belgian beer, and that was the kid thing to really kind of kick him over. As far as View It Again, just watch RoboCop 1, maybe watch RoboCop 2 again. Like
there was some tangible exasperation in your voice.
It's tedious to watch this.
It is
That's
tedious.
a perfect word for it.
Yeah,
tedious
I like
to watch.
that.
Yeah. Well,
boy.
I think that wraps up another episode of Good Brews, Bad Views. Russ, thanks for calling in and participating in our little experiment.
Yeah, this was so much fun.
Honor. It's great.
Thank you for all the feedback you've given us.
Next time I'm in the Detroit area, I'll try to get a hold of you ahead of time to like maybe do an in-person one.
Oh,
yeah, that would be great.
Sure.
Yeah,
no question.
Now that I've tried the internet, but yeah, it's still another phone and one I would love to do it. I've been listening to you guys since you guys started, and
thanks.
Thank you.
We're sorry.
Yeah,
also.
no, and I mean, there's pretty much. I don't think you guys have introduced me to any bad movies, but like it's been fun to rewatch some movies with you guys.
Did you watch Get Even?
Oh no, I haven't gotten another episode because I couldn't find the.
I'll send you a link where you can find it.
Yeah,
that is. Oh boy.
So if I can just monopolize the floor for a minute here, that's thank you, Russ, for saying those things, because that for me is a huge part of just why I love this podcast so much. Is it's just hanging out with people. There's a very interesting social aspect to this, and it's just so much fun. And to me, it feels genuine, and I just like it. I like it a lot. So thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
I love terrible movies, and the community aspect of what terrible movies, like the community watching of terrible movies, is such a great community, because you get almost like the amateur film theory, but you also get just people having fun with it.
Yeah.
And
you guys are good to get
that's always been our goal.
So I've been
have a
enjoying
good time.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
All right. If you have any good feedback for us, please check us out on Facebook.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Amber. Hi, Amber. Twitter. Hey, Noah and Mix 6 people. Instagram. We're on YouTube. We're on PodBean and WordPress and
Stitcher.
iTunes and Stitcher and Google Podcasts and all the good places where you can find quality podcasts.
We'll come to your house and talk to you.
Yeah, we will. We literally will. Yeah.
No, like really. I will. Just tell me the window and I'll yell at it.
Yep. And now that we've gotten Russ on and we've proved that the remote guest thing is successful and viable, we look forward to having more guests on
Absolutely.
air. So
come have fun with
us. That in the future.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and as always, please watch
and drink.
Russ, do you know the words?
Line.
Wait.
Responsibly.
Yeah.
Responsibly.
Wait. Hold on. We'll cut this part out.
No, we won't.
All right.
No, we won't.
I'm sorry. I've had too many of these. So
there's no such thing. It's very good.
All right. So,
all right.
Please watch
and drink.
View responsibly.
Yay.
All right. Good night.
All right. Bye.